and I'm the founder of Women in Block, and also Top of Blockchain. The purpose of this organization, Women in Block, is to encourage women leadership in executive roles in the blockchain industry, which is an emerging industry by nature. And as every emerging industry, it gives opportunities for growth that are very abundant and quick as well. So if we can now generate a participation of women in this industry, I believe that within a few years we're going to lead. So that's the purpose of this organization, to share knowledge, to share opportunities with each other, to become experts as much as we can, and to lead the blockchain and crypto industry in the future. I'd love to invite Meirav Harel from MHFintech, right?
Hi everybody. I can speak without, yeah. I can. Last time I was here, the microphone didn't work, and I had to change it. Like I had to flip microphones, and at some point I said, "Well, I have 3 kids. I could just shout, right?" So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the future of finance, a lot of what's happening. I can't say in blockchain and crypto because the picture wouldn't be full calling it what's happening with the financial system in blockchain and fintech and crypto, because there is another part in this puzzle that is kind of moving things forward in the financial sector. And I do not have a clicker. Yeah. All right, now a little bit about myself. I'm the former COO of Bancor, and for 7 years I've been the business development manager of UmiTrade, securities trading website. I now advise regulators, banks, and startups in dealing with what I see as, I'd say, the next step in the evolution of finance. That's how I see what's happening right now. And like I said, when you look and kind of zoom into the financial sector, you see that there are various forces that are pulling things in different directions. And that's what makes trying to predict the future kind of tough, because each direction is pulling in a different area, and we'll be able to see where things are going when the dust kind of settles. I'm going to be talking about 3 different, I'd say, verticals that are affecting what's happening. And I'm going to start with the first one. Why do I have this picture here? Does anybody know?
The internet.
It's an institution.
Okay. The truth is that the financial sector has new players. Okay? And more of the new players. These guys. And they're scary. Okay? Because they can create solutions in the financial sector that the regular banks have a very, very hard time dealing with. Okay? And they're already giving loans. I'm not just talking about transferring money from one to the other. I'm not just talking about payment solutions. They're giving loans. They're enabling investments, okay? And one of the tech companies that doesn't appear here but should be here is WeChat in China, which kind of like shows the extreme of where a technological company can create value in finance. It's like WhatsApp. Who knows what's what WeChat? Okay, for those who don't, I'm going to say like this. Imagine yourself in WhatsApp, where you can transfer money. That's easy. You can pay at a store when you're going with the QR code. But when the money kind of ends in your wallet that's connected to your WhatsApp WeChat, you can just either add more money, but you can also take a loan. And if you have a lot of money there, you could try to invest it through them. Now tell me, is WeChat a technological company or actually a bank? Okay? So when we're talking about the forces that are affecting the financial ecosystem, you can't ignore these guys. And they're more, I'd say, they're ahead of what's happening with crypto and blockchain. These are things that are like the next step. So when I advise banks and regulators, this is the first thing that they're seeing. This is the threat, okay? Because the implications are very wide. Imagine yourself, you go opening a bank account in Israel, allowing all of the customers to come and use their bank. And the nice thing is that the business model that they have in comparison to the banks is different, right? Do they take commissions? No, what do they use? Data, okay? This is a completely different business model. So when we're talking about the financial sector, keep in mind that this is the first threat. Blockchain and crypto could be the next in line. And maybe that's one of the reasons that that you don't see a lot of banks and financial sectors. They're kind of like iffy, and you're kind of asking yourself, why are they not entering into this field? Because they're kind of busy with the real threat right now that's happening, that's the imminent threat, which is the big technological companies. But let's take a look at what could happen with blockchain and crypto and see how that could affect the financial ecosystem. I'm going to start with blockchain, okay? Blockchain at its source comes and says, I want to get rid of the middleman, right? All of the middle people in the middle, and who's a better example of a middleman than a bank? So theoretically, you could come and say that blockchain could nullify the need for banks, right? This is kind of like an extreme scenario. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm sure that there are a lot of crypto people that would be happy, and even people from outside of crypto that would be happy to see this happening, but it's not necessarily what's going to happen. A less severe, I'd say, prediction or scenario is, and this we're kind of seeing happening right now in the world, is that banks around the world or financial institutions are actually using blockchain kind of like, I'd say, a connecting tissue between them, okay? They would do, let's say, the KYC. Why does the customer need to answer the KYC in different times every time he's moving from bank to bank? Wouldn't it make more sense to have all that information in one place and then the bank's kind of using it at the same time, right, from different directions? So this kind of a solution, this kind of a scenario is something that we're seeing already happening. In Europe, you have examples of this. Consensus is working very hard on this. You have companies in this space giving these kinds of solutions. Another scenario that could happen with blockchain is that the banks will simply use it as some sort of internal database, okay? Is it better? Is it not as good as the legacy systems? Right now, I want to remind you that the banks still have a problem, and whoever comes from the banking industry will know this, with their systems. Literally, when you need to take out data, you have different systems that do not communicate with each other, okay? I could go into stories about this, but this is one of the main issues that the banks are still dealing with. Is blockchain the solution? I'm not sure yet. But this is the scenario that could happen. This is a nice place where blockchain might be able to enter. Let's take a look at the other side of things, crypto, okay? If we look at crypto in regards to the financial services, we can see two directions where crypto could go, okay? It could be a form of currency, right, which has its implications, we're going to look at them, or it could be some sort of tool for investment, okay? Let's take a look at that and see where things could be going with that just a minute. Let's start with crypto as a form of currency. What does that mean for banks, okay? Does that mean, let's say right now what they're doing is kind of like saying, we're out of the game, we're not doing that. But that kind of like ruins the idea of banks as a body that keeps the value for its customers, right? Okay? So that means that theoretically, if the banks want to keep their position as the people that are taking care of value, then it would make sense for them to start opening bank accounts for crypto. What does that mean? Think about the technological side of it. Do they need to be opening wallets? What does that mean if they want to, would they use it as another kind of foreign currency? Would they be able to trade it? The implications of that are pretty wide. Right now, they're still at the point of, it's kind of dangerous and we don't know how to play with this. But I think that the more interesting side of things is actually looking at the macro level of economics, okay? Because as we all know, and whoever has learned a little bit of macroeconomics knows that the amount of money in a given country is actually a tool, in a monetary way, okay? It affects the inflation rate, it affects, it's a tool that can help against financial crises, right, and inflation. Now imagine a place, and we're almost there, where anybody could create a token and a currency. Now what does that mean in regards to the amount of money that you have in a country, okay? Okay, now this is something that actually needs to be studied and needs to be thought about, because theoretically, if we're kind of like letting go of that monetary tool of holding, the amount of money on a certain level in order to affect the macroeconomics, what does that mean? Could the next financial crisis happen because us as a humanity are not careful enough with the creation of new money? Okay? That's an implication. I advise, I told you, regulators and banks about all of these things, and this is a question that think of it from the regulator side of it. You don't want to stifle innovation, right? You want it to continue. But on the other hand, you do not want to get to places that could create financial crises. All these regulations were not created in vain. They were created after financial crises happened, and they said, okay, we understand this and this is wrong, let's put laws there. Right now we're going into a new territory. What are the implications of creating so much different kinds of money? The last one I'm going to be looking at, because I think our time is almost up, is looking at crypto as an investment tool. Let's look at that from a point of view of the financial system. Right now, there are certain types of asset classes, right? Stocks, bonds, ETFs, right? Options. And the last one that was created, who knows what was the last asset class that was created? No, not yet. They haven't yet been created. How do you spell it? Mutual funds. Okay? That means that the humanity invented the last tool of investment that was invented officially. Okay, before utility tokens, I call them the next thing, are actually mutual funds. They were invented only in the 90s, something like that, in the last century. Okay? That means that right now, what we are seeing is the creation of a new kind of asset class. Now, it's not actually one type of asset class, because with blockchain and crypto, it can open the door to many different kinds of asset classes. So we know the one that's called a utility token, and some people use it as an investment. Okay, that's nice. But let's think about the next kind of asset classes that could be invented. Could you imagine a token that also doesn't give equity, like Chevy said earlier? Maybe it doesn't give equity, but it does give some sort of dividend on the revenue that you created in that year. That's a new kind of asset class. Or what if you create a new kind of security token that allows you, let's say if it's an Amazon token, Amazon currency or token or asset, that will let you have a certain amount of I'd say, things are on sale, and you get the amount, the percentage of sale according to the amount of tokens that you're holding. These are new types of asset classes, okay? And again, now you need to think, okay, so what does that mean for the financial system? Does that mean that these things are going to be traded on NASDAQ? Are there going to be new exchanges? How is it going to be possible to exchange these kinds of assets with the ones that we already know that exist right now? I'm ending. I can see many faces of me. As you can see, there are many forces. We only looked at 3 aspects of things that are affecting the financial ecosystem. It's very interesting, and the changes are in many different directions. I can only say, I can quote Gordon Moore, the Intel founder, that says that change has never happened this fast before, but it will never be this slow again. Thank you.